All right, we are live. Welcome everybody here to the real estate, talk show, the weekly real estate talk show with Raul Luna. It's a tremendous honor and a pleasure to be here with you guys. We're going to be covering a topic today. How many properties should you be evaluating? Guess that number, or try to even, understand what is it? How many deals should I be actually evaluating? But before we get started, I want to make sure that you make sure that you're in a location, that you're in a space where you can literally devote this time for your growth, for your education on the real estate investing world. Trust me, it'll pay off if you're really serious about it, right? So I'm going to make it prompt, direct to the point. So, it's really amazing what we're going to be covering here, but it's even further amazing if you put it into practice. So I know that I cannot assume that everybody knows me. So for the people that don't know me, my name is Raul Luna. I've been a real estate investor for 19 years now. I was born in America, raised in Mexico, have the honor to be, in the best of both worlds, of being able to be growing on two different countries. My very first 10 years, almost 10 years, it was in Mexico. And then we came back to America when I was 9. Interesting enough, I started working since I was little. I worked on very, physical oriented jobs as my entire family, that's what they did. And they didn't have much education. I didn't either. So I decided that I wanted it to hustle to prosperity, that I wanted it to, make things happen, because that's what I saw with my family, with my parents, my mom and my uncles and everybody that I was surrounded with. Now, I give you a little bit about, a history of me. And the reason being, it's because I think it's important to understand various things. Number one, I wasn't born on a silver platter, just like anybody else. I had to hustle for what I wanted. I had to figure it out myself. Nobody taught me the real estate, investing world. I started investing when I didn't know what investing was. I started buying properties without knowing certain things. But one of the things that I learned that I can pass on to you is that you will learn more by doing than by any other way possible out there. And what I mean, learn truths come from action. So write that down. True experience come from action. And I expect that what I share, for what is working for me, that if you so decide to put it into practice, you know that you're going to get experience. You're going to get feedback. So, hopefully you get inspired enough to say, listen, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, or maybe you're doing super well, like some of the guys here today that are connected. I know that we got a very wide variety of people, from real estate agents to, brokers, from, real estate investors. And I can share, the following, is that if you're already doing well, maybe you're looking to go, to expand and explode your business, and that's phenomenal. I'm all about growth, and I've always said it. I'm gonna die growing. Basically, I don't know how that it's. It sounds contradictory, right? Dying, growing, but what I mean by that is, I'm always seeking growth. I'm always seeking, knowledge, which is very different from information. Information is what you can get in Google. You can pretty much Google anything and get information, and that's all good. But wisdom, knowledge, you get it from people that are doing the real thing, right? So that's what I'm looking to deliver here on this, weekly real estate talk show that we get to have every Wednesday, 12 noon. And for the ones that don't know me, I'm founder of Properties 180, as well as, levelupnowacademy.com. And all I can share is this: I'm passionate to share, obviously, experiences that can help you grow, and then hopefully later on we could, work together, we could partner together, we could do business together, right? So, anyways, so congratulations for making it and being here. Now, what I want to go ahead and cover are a few things that are, that it's dramatically important, all right? And I'm going to make you 4 questions. Now, these 4 questions, they need very specific answers. If there's not specific answers to these 4 questions that I'm going to ask right now, then I already know that you're going to have a very difficult path and process walking through that path, right? So it's very important. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first question is, what is your goal? What is it that you're looking to achieve? What is your goal? Question number two, why is it important to you? Why is that goal important to you? Question number three, am I capable? I want you to ask yourself, am I capable? And then question number four, am I willing? Am I really willing to do what it takes, to achieve that is important because of this? Now, and you may be thinking, Raul, I thought the webinar and the real estate talk show was about, how many properties I should be evaluating. And yes, it is. But without understanding those questions and having answers to those questions is like just trying to go anywhere without putting the address in the GPS. You're going to get lost. You will remain lost. And then if you don't know your destination, you pretty much have arrived at wherever is it that that you are right now. Why? Because you don't have a destination. So we are going to get into, obviously, how many deals, and I'll tell you exactly statistics that we have, and the statistic that we have not necessarily is true for everybody. Everybody's going to be different, and you just need to understand that there is certain patterns. There are certain I should say patterns is probably the best word, and there's certain standards, but the reality of it is that your level of negotiation, your level of talent, skill sets, the time that you devote to become better has a lot to do with whether those numbers become great or not, or whether you improve or not. Okay, so let's start with the first question. What is your goal? What is it that you're looking to achieve? Now, and have it clear, and go ahead and share it here. For the people that are here with me, go ahead and feel, let's obviously share to each other, what is it that you're looking to achieve? What is it that it's bringing you here? Why real estate in this case? What is your goal in real estate? And I hear various answers. I hear financial freedom, but financial freedom is too general. It needs to be described. It needs to be specific, because I want, to travel. Once again, general. And usually the first answers tend to be general. Okay, usually. I'll give you an example. When I first started real estate 19 years ago, my entire goal was to buy my first property. Own belief back then, I thought I was going to own it 30 years later after I pay it, and I would be able to retire and be financially free. How wrong that I was, back then, because I was thinking very small, very little. And all I can tell you is that changed, but it changed for something greater. Then later I said, what I want to do is I want to be able to literally be financially free for the rest of my life. And I attached an amount to that. Back in the days, that amount was about, $10,000. Okay, $10,000 back, 19 years ago. And I can tell you that I started by the 3 units that I bought that I never paid mortgage or rent, so I was gaining, obviously, traction, because that saved me a little over, $1,200 that I was able to basically bring in or save, I should say, because I was not paying rent or mortgage because the other units were paying for it. So why is that important? Because, once you understand, once you answer, okay, what is my goal? What is it? So Mr. Jose says cash, mucho dinero. Now in passive income, make $10 million in the next 12 months. Perfect. Now, fantastic. That's a clear goal, and that's important to understand. Why is it important? Want. Why is it important? Why is that goal important to you, Mr. Jose? Why? Give you an example. Today my goal is to build indestructible wealth, okay, through passive income. Now, that picture to me, it's $1 million a month. Now I've set a time frame. I've set a time frame. That time frame, it's giving myself anywhere around about 5 to 7 years. That's the time frame that I've set. That's what I've set. Now it could be sooner. It could be later. Doesn't matter. That's the goal that I have based on my belief, based on what I know, based on where I am. I know that that goal, is achievable. It scares me, uh, inspires me. Why? Now let's answer the question why. Now, whatever anybody of you guys are sharing, it doesn't have to be the same thing for everybody, ladies and gentlemen. And it could be ridiculous. You may think, well, Jose's thinking about 10 million. He's nuts. Not necessarily. I'll tell you straight out. That's his goal. He wants it. The question is why. In my case, the question is because I don't want to go, or I don't want to feel limited by choices because of money. I don't want to feel like, I want to be able to literally just do whatever you want, whenever you want, for the time that you want, without thinking, where's the money going to come from? All right. Now, why? So you got to, obviously, why is that important? Because you want to give your family a great life, because you want to travel to many different places and explore different, cultures, whatever that is, but be specific. So why is that important? Why 10 million, Mr. Jose? Why? Why 10 million? What is it that you want to do with 10 million? And you got to be clear with that. To me, it's, once again, it's the measure, when you set a goal, whether it's a goal, I usually will say, set a goal that scares you. That is, that you believe that it's achievable to you, but that it scares you. Because if it doesn't scare you and it's a goal that you know already how to achieve, then, it's not going to inspire you either. All right. So if it doesn't scare you, more than likely it's not going to inspire you either. Okay. So it's very important. I'm having a hard time because I got light here, but it says cash, okay, to do what I want, where I want, and spend more time with the family and friends. And Ms. Lorraine, that's perfect. Now that's general. Attach a very specific number. What is that number going to be? So is it 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month? Is it $5,000 a month? Is that going to give you what you want? So, once you know exactly, then you know that your why is because you want that freedom of choice, freedom of decision, freedom of just, staying wherever you want to stay without even worrying where the money is really going to show up from. All right. Now, financial freedom, help family members, mainly my mother. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Awesome. And then we got Mr. Arun. Goal is to reach 100 million by 2039 and build skyscrapers, high-tech schools, vertical farm, bioplastics, and leave the world a better place. Fantastic, guys. And let me tell you this, as long as you have specific goals. Now the next question, let's jump to the next one. Why is it important? You guys stated it. Some of you guys says financial freedom. I want to help my mom. I want to help the family members. I will challenge you to do 7 levels of whys. 7 levels of why. Why do you want to help your mom? Why is your mom important to you? Well, because she gave me the life. She gave me birth, because she has taken care of me for since I was 18, or she's always looked out for the best, or she's worked so hard. Okay, perfect. Why do you believe that because your mom has worked so hard, has done all that for you, it's extremely important for you to show up now for her? And you see, 7 levels of why. It's going to grow so deep. It's going to go so rooted. You're going to go so deeply and so rooted that it's going to anchor you. It's going to anchor you to really either encounter, discover, and ignite the fire within to make it happen. I can't obviously guarantee that, but I'm sharing that if you actually go 7 levels of why deep or more, you'll discover a lot of things that oftentimes we don't make the time or space to actually go that deep. All right. For instance, with you, Mr. Arun, Why do you want to do that? Okay, a better place. But why? Why is it important for you to live this place, this world, a better place? Why? You know, and why do you want financial freedom, you know, to do whatever you want? And see, a lot of those things, when you go, you'll realize that you'll start saying things, for instance, like 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 for instance, in my case, I want to push through the limitations that we've always have, to break through them, so that we could always be stretching and growing. In my case, so that I could always be stretching and growing, because I know that if I'm not growing, I'm dying, and I don't want to feel the pain of death, of not growing, right? Now, that's one of the profound reasons. You know, I want to have time with the family. I want to travel the world. I want to go places like Italy, like Israel, like, you know, I want to learn different cultures. But at the same token, I want the business to pay for it. But I don't want active income paying for it. I want passive income paying for it. Happen, I got to grow the business. Does it make sense? So then you start realizing that, you know, your goals is correlated, connected with the money. So now let's talk about, you know, and once again, going deep, 7 levels. Why is it that I want to build indestructible wealth? Because I don't want to be bankrupt again. Why I don't want to be bankrupt again? Because the feeling is not a good feeling, you know, having to literally be nickeling and diming not only yourself but your family and whatever they eat. Why you don't want to be nickeling and diming and having those feelings? Because I don't think, you know, we deserve it when we were made as a unlimited human beings, you know. And why you believe that you're not limited? Because if the universe, if God created me and he, or, you know, is infinite, then I am infinite. I just haven't believed it. And why you haven't believed it? Because, you know, I see the negativity more than the possibility of what I can do. But why do you understand now the depth that you can go, and then really root everything? And then towards the end, it could be, you know what, I want to grow because I'm sick and tired, because I will never want to have that feeling again, because I know what I did wrong, and I know, you know, that I have the power and control of my own self. And if I am spiritually, you know, thriving, health-wise, I'm thriving, you know, financially, I'm thriving, you know, on every aspect, I'm thriving, then guess what? Everybody in my surround is going to be thriving. And at the end, if I can impact others to achieve what they want, I know they're going to help me achieve what I want. Does it make sense? So anyways, 7 levels of wise. All right, guys. So let's jump into the third question. And the third question is, am I capable? Do you think that you're capable of what you just said? Because if you believe that you're not capable, you're not going to do it. Now, the question is, are you capable of reaching $10 million, Mr. Jose? Are you capable of reaching $100 million? Do you feel capable, Mr. Raul? Do you feel capable of doing 10,000 a month, 15,000, whatever that is, whatever it is? I'll give you an example. I set a goal that it's $1 million a month. Now, it scares me. When I first started it, I started it at, I think it was 25,000 a month. Then I changed it to 100,000 passive. I'm talking about passive. Active is not, even though I'm not counting active income, I'm talking about passive. The difference from active and passive, active is the one that you got to work for. Passive is the one that works for you. Now, the interesting thing is that when I stated that goal, it was about 3 years ago. Okay, 3 years ago. I said, you know what, 100 a month, $100,000 a month. And then I changed it about, I changed it about 6 months ago, January. I attended to, I think it was a 10X event up in Florida. And I said, why am I thinking only $1.2 million a year in passive? Why is it? And then I caught myself thinking too small. Now, I'm going to repeat it again. I'm talking about passive. Okay. Now your goals could be different. And I'll share this much. I'm you know, since I started that goal 3 years ago, we're very close. Towards the end of this year, we're probably going to be 50-60% of that in the process. Now, I know at the beginning may seem very slow, but I'll give you a ninja tip of what I've discovered throughout life. When you take massive, consistent action, massive, consistent action, MCA, those three words will have the power to break through any limitation that you think that you have. The reason why is because people ask me, Raul, why do you freaking work so hard? And I tell you, because my dreams are so freaking large. The only reason why people may ask me, why am I working so hard, is two reasons. Number one, they don't have goals or they're too small. Okay? Or two, they're seeking growth and inspiration. And I hope that the people that ask me that question is because they're seeking growth and inspiration. Because most of them, I can already see that it's probably because they don't have goals or they're too small. And I'm not saying that, you know, you should have a monetary goal. It's different. You need money to achieve, obviously, many things. And I don't shy from it. But at the same time, it's how you're going to achieve that. You know, well, it depends on how you want to do it. So are you willing? Am I willing? Am I willing to do it? I mean, am I capable? I'm sorry. I think it was, am I capable? My apologies. Am I capable? And if the answer is yes, then you got to get busy on the next one. Am I willing? Am I willing to do whatever it takes to honestly achieve that goal? You know, I've seen people, I've studied people extremely successful, and I'll give you some names. Robert Kiyosaki, he's probably right now worth over $100 million, okay, with his businesses. Is it possible? It's possible. Is it achievable? It is. Has somebody else done it? Totally they have. You know, now, once again, there is a difference from passive income, from active income, and from even assets or, you know, or equity or paper, you know, that says that you're worth X amount. I'll give you an example. When I hear, for instance, well, this person is worth $100 million, I know that that person did something to get there. Not necessarily that person has $100 million worth of passive income, you know, or when I hear, you know, that a business did X amount of revenue, not all the revenue, it's passive income, or not all the revenue, you know, it's take home, you know, revenue, but doesn't matter. What I think it's important is the level of mentality that you had to adapt, the belief system that you had to adapt to, or bring in order for you to obviously hit those, you know, obviously grow to that level, right? I'll give you an example. You know, for instance, Anthony Robbins is another guy that, you know, he's a billionaire now. But when I first met him, or when I first got to learn about him, he wasn't a billionaire. Now, is it possible to achieve those goals? Totally. Now, are you capable? I will say, in my case, I will say yes. I think we're all capable. Now, the question is, am I willing? Am I willing to do it? Because that question is a question out of desire. Do you have the desire to do whatever it takes? And while I hear people saying yes, ladies and gentlemen, I hear a lot of people say, yeah, I'm willing. And I'll tell you this much. The focus, the time is going to expose you. It's going to prove and expose if you were really willing to do it or not. And see, that's scary, because you don't want to go through life 10 years from now and say, oh yeah, you know, I did set it, but you know, I didn't achieve it, or bring out any excuse possible to say, why is it that you didn't achieve it? Now, you know, that's why are you willing? You know, the answer is, are you really willing? Okay. What is it? Are you truly willing? Now, I want you to understand the following, okay? The true answer to the question, of how many properties should you be evaluating, it's going to depend if you understand your numbers. If you understand your numbers, is going to depend, you know, uh, how many deals you need to evaluate. If I can give you one simple answer, write this down. As many as necessary to get the deals you are looking to, that you're looking for to help you reach your goals. Simple answer, as many as necessary as you need to evaluate in order to achieve your goals. As many as necessary, simple as that. Now that's in a simple format, but let's get started, because it's not that in itself. It's everything that you sound simple, or that you see that it sounds simple. Just keep in mind this, okay? It's behind simplicity, there is complexity. Behind simplicity, there is complexity. And it's important to understand that. For instance, it's simple for you guys and us now to be here on a webinar, seeing each other, or, being here live. But you know how complex it was at one point to make it to this point? It's simple now, but there's complexity behind it. Well, the same thing, but don't let that hold you back. I'll tell you this much. How many properties should you be evaluating? There's days that I evaluate about 20 deals. Now, that's just myself. I got a team of acquisition specialists that they do their own. As a company, just so you know, at a company level, we're evaluating around about 150 deals per week. Now, do the math. Just do the math, okay? 150 deals a week divided by, in this case, by 6 days, is 25 deals per day, divided by 2 acquisition specialists. It's about 12.5 deals a day. And important. As a matter of fact, there's a call coming in from one of the letters. It's really important that the ones that you're evaluating is because you saw that there's potential, and you could tell right away whether the deal makes sense or not. Now, I don't get distracted. Understand this. Don't get distracted by the asking price, because many deals that we have purchased, they started high. And just because they start high, don't get discouraged or distracted, because eventually, if there is a need, you will buy it where it makes sense for you as a buyer, and the seller will sell it where it makes sense basically for the seller as a seller, okay? So understand that. Now, at 150 deals that we evaluate per week, okay, we usually land right around about 1 or 2, and it varies. It's never the same, but if I was to average it all out, it takes about 150 deals that we evaluate on, okay, evaluate. Now, we may submit about, 25 to 30 offers on after we do those 150. Now, after those offers, majority of the time are verbal offers. For the people that know me, understand that we make offers over the phone. And unless we're very, very close, and we think that we're close enough, that's when we go and, either take a look at the property, or we put it under contract and we clearly state it and say it to the seller. Listen, based on what you're sharing, this is basically how we're going to state it in the contract, but then we're going to still have to see it and make sure that we're satisfied with what we see. So it's very important to understand that. So just picture this: 150 offers, 150 properties evaluated every week. 25 to 30 get an offer, okay? And out of those 25 to 30 get an offer, we land on around about 1, and sometimes 2 deals. Last month, for example, when I grabbed my numbers, we landed into 6 deals. And let's grab last month because it's a complete month. Last month we did, on average, it was 600 evaluations, just so that you have an idea. Out of the 600, 30% become offers, just so that you have an idea. That's 180 offers. Now, 180 offers, we landed into 6 deals. Now, very unusual month, very unusual month. Numbers usually don't go that extremely well, because out of 180 offers, we got 6 deals. It's not typical. Now, I can understand when I dig in into the numbers, why is it that that happened? And I can tell you why. Well, a couple of those deals, 2 of those 6 deals, actually, yeah, 2 of those 6 deals came from the follow-up, following up for almost 1 year with the seller, waiting for them to, do some documentation and things of that nature. So those ones were obviously, I mean, you can count them on the numbers, but are not going to give you like a true numbers. But that takes me to the next step. When you evaluate a lot of deals every single week, every single day, and you make many strong offers out there, guess what's going to happen? They may or may not be ready there, but would you think that on the follow-up, those deals could start trickling in? Totally. They will. One of them that we did in San Leandro, 1 year took a follow-up. One that we did in Lodi, 1 year took for follow-up. And then there was another two that came in from a free campaign that we do, that I've shared in the past, which I think you've known, where, my real estate broker that helps me sell my properties, usually he puts there a little phrase that, hey, my seller will buy your house if you buy there, something like that. And guess what? Landed into 2 deals like that. So this past month we did 180. So let's divide 6 by 180. That's a 3%. Is it a 3%? Let me see. Times 3. Yep, that's a almost 4% success ratio, right? Not typical. Not typical. It takes us about, what is it? 35, maybe 35. I've averaged it out, takes us about 35 offers before we land into one. So, and sometimes 2, but regardless. So if I know those numbers, now I'll give you an advice, or I give you a suggestion. I measure everything in hundreds. If I don't reach to 100 evaluations and then 100 offers, I will not have enough data to really understand my numbers. How can I know this? You guys know Mr. Alberto Bravo, and if you don't know him, you will eventually get to know him. He is one of my students in the Level Up Now Academy, and he was part of the last event that we had, which was finding freaking awesome real estate deals in your backyard. And it's interesting because when he first started the journey, the real estate journey, he called me up one day and he says, Raul, he says, I'm a little bit worried. Can you help me? I may be doing something wrong. And I ask him, what is it that you think that you're doing something wrong? He says, well, he says, I've been doing offers and I'm not getting anything accepted. I call agents. The agents tell me that I'm not being realistic, that, those things don't work anymore. We're not back in 2009, 10, 11, that, that I'm never going to get a deal like that. And, I asked him, how many offers have you done? He says, Raul, I've done 7. And I said, let me give you an advice, Mr. Alberto. I said, do 100 and call me when you're at 101 and let's have a conversation again. Because with 7, there's not enough. And when you don't have enough action, enough massive, consistent action, when you don't have that, I don't have nothing to work with. I don't, I can't give feedback in activity anyways. You get the interesting thing is that he attended to one of the events that I did, and he was like, you know what, Raul, I'm done. I'm gonna do this. I'm serious. I'm committed. Let's make it happen. And we recorded him. And it was interesting because he was taking it serious. And I told him, I said, listen, pick an area, evaluate 100 deals, evaluate them, make offers. It's okay. I mean, when you don't know, you don't know. But the purpose of evaluating 100 deals in one specific location is so that you master that location. Is so that you know basically the good areas, the bad areas. Is so that and he says, Raul, but how do I get deals to evaluate? Hey, there's plenty out there. Craigslist, Zillow, real estate agents, direct mail, bandit signs, social media groups, networks that you can attend to meetups. I mean, asking for referrals, posting on Facebook or Instagram. I mean, let's face it, there is more channels out there that you can get yourself basically deals that comes through the pipeline that you can start evaluating. Now, at the beginning, you're going to evaluate not because, especially if you're starting, you're not going to evaluate because you want to buy every single one of them, because you want to master that exercise of evaluation, which in another webinar, I'm going to, I can share more than happy to share about how is it that I evaluate those deals. The purpose of this webinar, it's how many deals should I be evaluating? My sincere suggestion is do 100 and track everything on those 100. What I mean by that is out of those 100 evaluating deals that you did, how many did you connected with a person, okay, with the actual decision maker? How many offers did you do verbally or in writing? And for instance, what different categories did you access those deals? Was it direct mail? Was it bandit sign? You need to track everything. Let me tell you why. Once you know that, once you know your numbers, then you can attach those numbers into your goal, into your dream. You can attach it. It's very simple. I'll give you an example. When I set the goal 3 years ago of doing 100K, 100K per month in passive income, and I've done it both ways. I set the goal for $1 million plus active income, $1 million plus or 1.2 million passive income. Now, the active income happened like this. First year, boom, we blew it out of the water. Second year, we're way ahead, right? Third year, it's truly amazing. But the thing is this, is the passive that I've been basically setting the vision for, all right? Now, when I said it, I said, listen, all I need is I need 10 properties that cash flow, okay, $10,000. I need 10 properties that cash flow $10,000 a month. Once I have that, I know I've reached that goal. And I'll share this much. I already mentioned to you basically that of every 35 offers, okay, that we make, around about plus or minus, we land into one deal, okay? Now, that's true, depending which acquisition specialist it is. Not every acquisitions. I got acquisition specialists that it takes them 100 offers before they hit on a deal. I got acquisition specialists that takes them 35. In my case, I think that from 10 to 15 offers that I make, I land on one. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm better than anybody else. It just means that I hone my craft, that I pay very close attention to, the deal that has the greater potential or not. Okay, that's why it's very important to understand. For instance, this week I'm going to make I'm actually going to make 7 offers that are deals that are on the market, and we'll see, how many of those transpire. But I already know it's going to take 10 to 15 before I land on one. So 7 is not even enough. Now I'm not, my role in the company is not even of evaluating deals. I'm doing that in addition to what the acquisition team does. So once you know your numbers, let's just say that, for instance, out of every 50 you get a deal, then I know that if that deal will transpire in a $10,000 cash flow, as an example, then I know that I'm gonna, if I want 10 deals, well, guess what? All you gotta do is just multiply the numbers of how many you need to be evaluating. So if every, if it's gonna take 10 times 50, that means I'm gonna have to do 500 offers before I can get close to my goal or close to achieving that goal. Does it make sense? Now, on the passive income, it's slightly different though. It's slightly different. If you're gonna play at a small scale, it's gonna take longer. That's why I started going into bigger projects, multifamily, 50 units, 100 units, or or even investing on big, massive projects. Like we just finished investing on a 538 unit building. Why? Now, I'm not active there. I'm a passive investor there. Why? Because I got a goal. There's a goal right there. There's a goal that must be achieved. I say that I'm able. I say that I'm capable. I say that I'm willing. I said that, the reason why is important, and as well as what is it that I'm looking to achieve, right? I changed the goal from 100K to 1 million per month. Because I changed the goal, I got to be extremely focused on taking, massive, consistent action, ladies and gentlemen. The same thing, grab what I'm doing, take it for you, do it for you, for yourself. What I'm sharing is, I'll give you the active. The active is pretty easy to do. I remember, and I'll take you back for when I set the goal for $1 million. How is it that I achieve $1 million in the very first, year of a professional comeback real estate investor pro? Very simple. Being in the Central Valley, and this is even much faster when you're doing, now that we're in the Bay Area, it's just, the moment we started doing business in the Bay, it was like exponential growth. But I'll share what I did so that you can, why is it important to understand those numbers? Because my average profit in the Central Valley is right around $30,000. That's the average profit on a per deal basis. Well, if I want to hit $1 million divided by 30,000, that means I got to do 34 deals in 1 year. But I know I got, I got what operational cost. I got, marketing cost. I got many other things that I have to obviously make sure that we make up for. So what I did is I grabbed all the employees that I got to pay, the rent, the internet, the insurances, et cetera, and I came to a conclusion that we need about $750,000 to run the business, right? So $750,000, okay, including marketing, things like that. So that means I'm going to need $1,750,000 to clear basically the million, and that's before taxes, okay? Now divide that by $30,000. That's 60 properties. So we got to buy 60 properties in 1 year in the Central Valley, basically. Now, if my average in the Bay is about 100, okay? Now, which one seems easier to achieve? At a 30,000 per property or 100,000 per property. So 1,750,000 divided by $100,000 average in the Bay, 17.5 deals in a year. That seems, less work with the same outcome, right? Now, interesting enough, I can tell you this much, that when you set big goals, I started looking for deals that will give that will create value, enough value that we can start making $500,000 or $1 million. This year, we got 3 deals that are going to surpass three deals that are going to surpass the 7-figure mark, the 1 million plus. But see, that's active income. Active income is welcomed, and it's okay. I like it, but it's the passive one that we need to, continue to grow massively, right? So now that's because obviously we started to shifting the way we were thinking, surrounding ourselves with the right environment, things of that nature. So do you understand why the numbers are super important? So I'm going to go back, understand your numbers, evaluate 100 deals, and track everything. Okay. Once you do that, okay, you'll know, okay, you know what? It takes me 100 deals to get a deal. So if I need 10 deals to hit my goal, then I'm going to need 1,000 offers. Okay. You know, if it takes me 100, you know, if I evaluate 100 deals as an example, and I do, you know, 50 offers and I land on a deal, then it's going to take me 500 offers to do 10 deals. So you got to know your numbers. In my case, you know, when I was hitting $1 million in the valley, guess what? I knew I needed 60 deals to clear $1 million until until I went to an event that I heard a crazy guy saying that he was making minimum $100,000 or more. And a lot of you guys know who that person is, Mr. Jason Busey, which I have much respect to, because when I heard him speak, he inspired me. He validated that I was doing business in the wrong, that I was doing the right things in the wrong market. Okay, not that it's a wrong market, it's just a different strategy market. I love the Central Valley for many other reasons, like cash flow and things like that. Still flipping. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will still flip here. You know, it's just that I understand that we're dealing with, you know, a very different atmosphere. Now, understanding that, I switched everything around. Now, how am I going to achieve? How can I achieve, you know, $1 million a month in passive income? Well, it's going to be from businesses, from real estate, you know, and it's going to be, when I mean real estate, it's going to be at a bigger scale, 100 units, you know, 300 units at a time. And we're working towards that. I started a mail campaign on, you know, Phoenix, Vegas, Reno, on many different places outside, inside of California. You know, why? Once again, because we gotta obviously work towards the dreams and the goals, right? Now, how many deals do you need to evaluate then so that we can conclude today's webinar? How many deals should you be evaluating? And the easy answer, as many as necessary to get you, you know, to what you're looking for to help you achieve your goals. Simple as that. But then the work begins. Understand your numbers. When you understand your numbers, multiply. Okay, if it's going to take me 100 deals to evaluate every week, and I make 35, 50 offers, and I grab one deal, guess what? Be disciplined enough. Are you willing? Are you capable of evaluating 100 deals a week? Well, there's acquisition specialists here, data analysts that they do. You know, the question is, am I willing to do it? Do I have the desire, the burning desire to do it? Am I willing? Am I willing to pay the price? Okay. Is it important, the goal that I set? Is the why important? You know, is it important in my life? And see, that's why it's important to understand those factors. You know, there's not a true number. You know, it's a true number based on your goals. Whatever that number is attached to you, not to anybody else. Depending on Mr. Jose goals, on Mr. Arun goals, depending on whatever it is your goals. You know, whatever it is. Now, all I can tell you is this: have a goal. Otherwise, you will just wander. And wandering is the reflection of someone that is always struggling financially. When someone is always struggling financially, I already know that deep down inside, they're just wandering in life. And that's not the purpose why you're here in this, obviously, real estate talk show. I know that if you came here, it's because you want, you know, to succeed. You want greatness in your life, and that's precisely what I'm, you know, willing to share. And that's what I do, basically. You know, today I can tell you that the way I set to hit the $1 million a month, very simple, very simple. And I have it here. As a matter of fact, let me show it to you. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Let me see if I can share my screen. It's going to be quite busy. The screen is going to be quite busy, but let me see if I'm able. Can you guys see the screen? Hopefully you guys can see it. What I'm going to do, boy, let me see if I'm able to. Can you guys see my screen? Let me see, hold on. Okay. The wrong one. Hold on. All right. Hey, Raul, you gotta do an check. Okay. So yes. Okay. So let me share something very quickly here. Look. I don't know if you can see here. You know, basically what I have here. There you go. Right here. What I'm highlighting, and I have them written. Where am I going? Look what it says. 7 plus deals with $1 million plus. 4 plus deals with 500K. 20 deals with 150K profit each. 12 million net monthly passive income. 10,000 units. Hire 8 players. 7 buying acquisition specialists. 1 project manager. 1 sales manager. 1 operation manager. 1 I think the BK, it's 1 bookkeeper, 1 transaction coordinator, and 1 receptionist. So in implement systems. So that's precisely, I just want you to understand, I'm showing you the screen because this is exactly what I read every single day to myself. And every single week, I got an exact, based on this, based on that, that's how many deals I gotta do. How many deals I gotta do? Well, it says there how many I gotta buy. In order for me to buy that, I gotta be hitting around about, anywhere around about 1,000, about 1,000 offers. Why? Because, and that's my belief now. That's my way of thinking now. Okay. As we start growing, that's probably going to change, and it's going to change because we're going to get better, because we're going to see things that we were not seeing and things of that nature. So hopefully that helps you, ladies and gentlemen. Was that helpful for every single one of you guys? Hopefully that was. We're reaching here towards the end of the hour. Perfect. Congratulations for being here. Keep in mind, we run a meetup every 4th Thursday of every month in San Mateo, California, 7 p.m. Join us. Go to Bay Area Buying Properties for Profit group in San Mateo. The group is a San Mateo group. Join us if you're not part of it yet, as well as join us at the meetup as well, okay? And then visit reiprofitvault.com. It's we're only going to offer it, I think, a few more months, and then we're going to take it off, and whoever it's already in, it's going to be grandfathered in. So as long as you guys stay a member of profitvault.com, you will remain, a member, but that's going to go up in price by, like, literally, no joke, like by 20-fold. So for all of you guys that got it, congratulations. For you guys that have not, go ahead and check it out and see, if you're really serious on growing and obviously being a part of a great community, go ahead and join us. Congratulations for being here. We'll get to see you next week. Thank you.